Woody, football folks, we appreciate it. We got to get to the NBA really quick because it's also a huge day in the NBA. Back to the NBA. Trade deadline fast approaching. And, of course, a team that we're keeping an eye on is the Lakers, among others. Last night, Russell Westbrook sat out LA's 107-105 loss to the Blazers because of tightness in his lower back. And earlier this morning, I asked Adrian Wojnarowski about the Lakers potentially trading Westbrook. Here's what he had to say.
It's going to be very difficult to trade Russell Westbrook, and Rob Pelinka, their general manager in LA, knows that. And with $47 million due him next season, there's just not a marketplace to do that. And at what point do you stop just completely mortgaging your future for deals that probably don't result in all of a sudden you having a championship contender? And right now, the deals that the Lakers are really looking at, Hannah, you know, they're around the fringes. Players like Alex Burks in New York, Dennis Schroeder in Boston, any number of role players, fringe starters that they might be able to cobble together the assets to get. But the idea of a Westbrook trade, listen, nothing's impossible, but I think it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, such huge numbers, 44 million this season, 47 next season. Now, it's my first time on Get Up. It is also the first time for Monica McNutt. So it's great. We're here together. Love being with you. And I can't wait to hear your answer to this question because you just heard Woj say, listen, they're not going to move Russell Westbrook. Certainly, in all likelihood, it would be a huge surprise. What do they do with him from here on out then, Monica? What's the plan?
Man, Hannah, I was getting ready for the show this morning, and I really wanted to say they have to play in transition, but they're already a team that does a pretty good job in that category. I do think that they're going to have to, step one, remind Russ that he can contribute just from a confidence standpoint. When we talk about his last two performances, only hitting 3 of double-digit amount of field goal attempts and just his general body language. Inside of 10 feet, no breaking news here. Russ has been able to score the basketball, but the last 2 outings, he looked completely defeated. I have a hard time believing that Russ cannot contribute at all. He may need to revamp his approach and consider himself a garbage guy and take a lot of pride in it. He still can defend. He's a terrific rebounder. He can get deflections. He can get steals. Now, ultimately, if he cannot be on the floor in the fourth quarter, that's called basketball and coaches being empowered to make the right decisions. But I don't think that Russ has to hang his head and think he can never contribute with this squad. Now, they're going to have to encourage him.
Let me ask you this. Should he come off the bench?
I'm open to him coming off the bench. I think if,
do you think he would be open to it?
At this point in his career, I think he needs to find a way. And I think ultimately, if this is about the opportunity to win as a veteran in this league, he knows that that costs a lot. And if that's what it means, he needs to be willing to do that. Now, he could come off the bench and change the tempo with that energy, right? Mm-hmm. It may mean that he comes off the bench and doesn't necessarily play as many minutes alongside LeBron, which would allow him to come to the ball in terms of being able to create and transition because he needs the basketball in his hands to be the best version of Russ that we've seen over the years. So I am open to him coming off the bench.
Yeah, it is kind of, it's just so hard for him to find room to maneuver with those other superstars. And I always think about the Warriors. Listen, it's not the same comparison, but remember when Steve Kerr went to Andre Iguodala and he said, come off the bench, and he did, and they won a championship, and he was MVP. So listen, if the championship's the ultimate goal, who knows? All right, and who knows? Speaking of this Simmons and Harden trade, we don't know if this is going to happen. Woj is keeping us updated all morning long. Is this something you would like to see happen? Is this, in your mind, the best thing for both of those teams?
Hannah, I have to be honest that I root for a little bit of chaos. So yes, because I think the NBA would explode if this actually happens. But I do think that it's a good fit for both teams as well. In the last few days, the focus has been on Brooklyn because of James Harden's history in terms of forcing what he wants. However, let's not forget that the Philadelphia 76ers are getting an MVP caliber year from a healthy Joel Embiid, and that is not something that should be taken advantage of. And so while this seems like a bunch of noise in terms of what James Harden may or may not be forcing, he would make the Philadelphia 76ers better. And if you believe that Ben Simmons has been working out somewhere and is ready to play basketball and simply just wants a change of scene, I don't see how he makes the Brooklyn Nets any worse. Now, the power is in the hands of the Brooklyn Nets because while they have been on a magnified losing streak, Through the first 7 losing streak, or through the first 7 games, James Harden had only played 4, and I believe it's still at 4. Kevin Durant obviously is not present, and you know the situation surrounding Kyrie Irving. And so Brooklyn, to me, holds all the cards in terms of if they can just get a healthy Kevin Durant back, there will certainly be a moment down the road where we'll all will say, remember they lost like 9 games in a row?
Right. They actually, no team that's lost 9 games in a row has ever been to the conference final.
Hannah,
Yes,
I gotta
ma'am.
say, I keep hearing all of my colleagues make that stat, but no team that has had a part-time player, to my knowledge, has ever been to the conference finals either. So here we are.
There you go. There you go. And we'll also see with all of the COVID mandates starting to change in the state of New York, we'll see when the city follows suit. And maybe we will have, before all is said and done, a full-time Kyrie Irving. Wouldn't that be interesting then to see what the 3 of them would do?
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.